With Christmas fixture congestion now over and an FA Cup break to contend with, it feels like we haven't had any fantasy Premier League action for a while. In this video I'm going to take a look at some of the key points of FPL going into Game Week 21, including loan recalls, players you should keep an eye on, and an African Cup of Nations story of will they, won't they, and that's all coming up next. We're going to jump straight into the video today and take a look at Nathan Ake, who's been recalled by Antonio Conte and will now be part of Chelsea's squad rather than Bournemouth's. He made his first 90-minute appearance for Bournemouth back in Game Week 12 and has gone on to score 3 goals and kept 3 clean sheets in the following 8 game weeks that he's been involved in. He's owned by 9.4% of all managers, and given that he's only priced at 4.4 million, it'll be a blow to those that were looking for a cheap option in defence. If you owned him before he was recalled, then you'll now have another Chelsea asset on your hand. And if you're like a lot of people who have 3 Chelsea players such as Alonso, Hazard and Costa, you'll now have 4, meaning next time you make a transfer, you'll be forced to remove one of them from your squad because you can only have a maximum of 3 from any one team. I guess the question is now, what are the prospects for him? Well, Conte has said that he thinks Ake is ready to be in the squad for Chelsea, but hasn't really mentioned whether he's going to be part of the first team just yet. He said he gives him options because he can play in the back 3 either on the left or in the middle. But given that the Chelsea defence has been such a tight-knit group this year, it's hard to see him coming straight back into the team. I think for now it's very likely that Ake will remain a backup option and be used as required by Conte, perhaps in cup matches or when injuries arise. Alonso's been reported as having an injury in the press, but he's been carrying it all season, so I don't think it's likely that he suddenly gets dropped from the team, unless of course Conte says something in the press conferences just before the weekend. If you can afford to bench Ake, then that might be a good choice, but do remember that he takes up a Chelsea spot, and in 2 game weeks time, in Game Week 22, they are playing Hull at home, and you're probably going to want at least 2 or 3 Chelsea players. In that price bracket, you could look at someone like Callum Chambers instead at Middlesbrough, or possibly even Niam at West Brom might be a better option for you. That leads me on to the next bit of news, which is the African Cup of Nations. We already know that some of the popular players, such as Mane and Zaha, are going to miss out by playing in this tournament. But there's good news for Matip and Neom owners. These 2 players were part of a group of 7 who told their country they didn't want to take part in the tournament. There were rumours that Cameroon were going to try and get them suspended so they couldn't play in the Premier League. But that's now been confirmed that no action is going to be taken and they're going to be available to play for Liverpool or West Brom respectively. With Matip currently suffering from an ankle injury, it's unlikely that this news will be beneficial for most FPL managers. The Niom news, on the other hand, is really good for not only Niom owners, but also those looking at bringing in Chris Brunt. Niom allows you entry into the West Brom defence at just 4.4 million, and after this week's game week fixture against Spurs away, they have a run that includes Sunderland, Stoke, Bournemouth and Crystal Palace at home, all in the next 6 fixtures. So not only is he a great choice, it also means he's probably going to move back to left back, and if he does, this means Chris Brunt can return to the midfield 3 behind the striker. So as I said, West Brom's home fixtures are really good, and in the last 5 home fixtures that Chris Brunt has played, he's scored 7.8 points per game. He's listed as a defender at just 5 million, but he's playing in midfield, and after the Spurs game, he's going to be a great choice. He is currently listed as having a knock, but he's already expected to be back fit, so should be a good asset for your team. It's a bit late for a white Christmas at this point, but it does look like snow might be on its way to the UK this weekend. The Express have reported that the north is most likely expected to bear the brunt, and not the Chris kind, of this bad weather, and it means the matches most at risk are Man United against Liverpool, Burnley against Southampton, Hull against Bournemouth, Sunderland versus Stoke, and Everton versus Man City. Now, I don't want to use this as a scaremongering tactic. It's quite possible all these matches will go ahead. The grounds themselves are usually okay. It's the travel to and from the ground for the fans that's usually the problem in these situations. But it might be worth considering when you're looking at possible transfers, points hits and bench order this weekend. And you could also consider using a vice captain from one of the other games that I haven't mentioned, which are more likely to go ahead, just in case your captain's from one of the matches I have mentioned. There's nothing quite like a defender in Fantasy Premier League that also takes penalties, and right now Leighton Baines is the man for that job. He's seen his price as high as 7 million in previous seasons due to clean sheets, assist potential and spot kicks, but is available to you right now for a knockdown price of 5.5 million. In the last 4 game weeks alone, we've seen him pick up 2 clean sheets, 1 assist and a goal that was converted from the spot in the last game, and during the break Coman has confirmed that he's now the first choice penalty taker for Everton. There were some concerns over how tight Everton would be at the back without Idris Gueye, who's also gone to the African Cup of Nations. But with them on the verge of signing Morgan Schneiderlin from Manchester United, I think they're going to be okay. They've got some favourable fixtures coming up, and I think it's about time we start looking at Baines. With the penalties in his locker, there's always a chance he could get attacking returns, even if the clean sheets aren't there. Yoshida may not be a defender that you've considered before, but with Font having handed in a transfer request to Southampton, he's definitely worth looking at. Puel has left Font out of the squad tonight to face Liverpool in the League Cup, and while he said he'll look at him for the next game, it's possible that he might leave him out until the transfer window's closed. This means that Yoshida could be available for the next 3 game weeks, facing Burnley, Leicester and Swansea in that time, and priced at just 4.2 million. He could be an enabler for other parts of your squad. Even if he does go back out of the team and you're someone like me who's got Jordi Amat, he's only 0.1 million more, so I do think he could be worth the risk, but just bear in mind that he might lose his place going forward. Philippe Coutinho is back and he started on the bench tonight for the League Cup fixture against Southampton. While he didn't register any goals or assists, he did come on in the 61st minute on his return to match fitness, and we could start seeing FPL managers start to transfer him back in. Personally, I want to wait and see how Liverpool play without Mane. I know they've still kept on scoring goals while Coutinho's been out and have managed the situation quite well, but Mane did offer a lot of pace up front and kept dragging defenders wide, creating space. So I am a bit worried about what it's going to be like without him in the team. Coupled with that, their fixtures aren't great, with them playing United, Chelsea and Spurs in the next 5 games. The good news is that he's only priced at 8.2 million now, and if you think he might start scoring like he did earlier in the season, he could definitely be worth snapping up before his ownership starts increasing. We're going to leave this video there. Hopefully some of that news was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments below if any of this is going to affect your team selections, or if you have any news that I might have missed and you can help share it with the other community members. If you did enjoy the video, as always, don't forget to drop a like on it and subscribe for more. I'll be doing a live stream this Friday at 9 PM UK time where we'll be talking FPL, so subscribe and we'll let you know when I go live. And additionally, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at Andy85WSM. But until next time, keep chatting FPL and I'll catch you soon.